The rain had fallen all night over Willow Street, tapping softly against the glass windows of the little flower shop. Inside, under the golden light of a flickering lamp, Maria Santos sat behind the counter, hands folded, eyes lost on a bouquet that no one had come to pick up. The card read, "Happy anniversary, my love." But the woman who was meant to receive it was gone, just like her husband, just like the years that used to bloom and fade like petals on her floor. Maria was 62. Her hair was silver, always tied in a loose bun that smelled faintly of lavender and old books. She had owned Bloom & Grace for nearly 30 years. What had once been a lively corner filled with laughter, music, and friends had slowly become quiet. Too quiet. The flowers were still beautiful, but even they seemed tired. One Thursday afternoon, as clouds gathered over the street, Maria noticed a man standing outside her shop. He wasn't rushing by like everyone else. He was just standing there, his coat soaked, his eyes fixed on the window display, a bouquet of sunflowers and white lilies. Maria hesitated for a moment, then smiled gently and unlocked the door. "Come in, dear. It's warmer inside," she said softly. The man nodded, stepping in with quiet gratitude. He looked around, breathing in the air, a mix of soil, roses, and faint jasmine. He touched nothing, bought nothing, just watched. Before leaving, his gaze stopped on a single wilted sunflower in a small pot by the door. Its petals were curled and brown, its stem bending toward the ground. "Why do you keep that one?" he asked. Maria looked at it for a long moment. "Because," she said finally, "it still tries to reach the light, even when it's dying." The man smiled faintly. "That's a good reason." And then he left. The next morning, Maria arrived early, as always. But this time someone was waiting outside, the same man holding 2 cups of coffee. He smiled. "For the lady who keeps things alive," Maria laughed. "Do I look like someone who needs caffeine or faith?" "Both," he said, handing her the cup. "I'm Thomas." That day, they talked for hours. He told her he had once been an architect, building homes for people who'd forgotten what home meant. But after his wife passed away and his company fell apart, he'd come here to start again. Only he hadn't figured out how. Maria listened, really listened. And when he finished, she said quietly, "Maybe you just need to build something that doesn't need walls." He smiled, "Like a garden." "Exactly," she said. "One that grows people instead of plans." Days became weeks. Thomas kept coming back. At first, he just helped her carry boxes and sweep the sidewalk. Then, he began fixing things. The leaky faucet, the squeaky door, the cracked tiles. Soon, the shop started changing, little by little. He painted the wooden counter a soft green. He replaced the rusty sign out front. And one morning, Maria found a new sign hanging above the door, hand-painted in gold letters. "Bloom & Grace, because hope still grows here." She stood frozen in the doorway, her hands trembling. Tears welled in her eyes as she whispered, "It's perfect." Thomas just shrugged. Every garden needs a new season. The next month, Maria and Thomas created something no one had ever done in that town before. A wall of gratitude inside the flower shop. It was a simple corkboard where anyone could pin a note to say, "Thank you," to a neighbor, a teacher, a nurse, even a stranger. The first note said, "To the lady with the silver hair who smiles even when no one buys her flowers, thank you for keeping beauty alive." Within weeks, the board was full. People began coming not just for flowers, but to feel human again. A nurse who'd lost her husband left a note that said, "Your roses reminded me how to breathe again." An old man wrote, "I came for tulips. I left with hope." The shop that was once silent now buzzed with laughter, stories, and the sound of scissors snipping life into shape. One bright morning, Maria walked into the shop humming softly. As she passed the window, something caught her eye. The wilted sunflower, the one she had refused to throw away, was standing tall. Its petals were gold again, its stem straight, reaching toward the light like it had been waiting for this exact moment. She gasped and called out, "Thomas, look!" He came running, wiping paint off his hands. When he saw it, he smiled, his eyes soft. Guess it just needed a little company. Maria felt her throat tighten. "No," she whispered, "it needed love." Thomas looked at her then, really looked, and for the first time in years, Maria felt something bloom inside her too. That evening, after closing, Thomas placed a small wooden box on the counter. Inside was a gold ring, simple, elegant, with a tiny engraving inside that read, "Hope still grows here." He said, voice trembling, "You saved me, Maria. You showed me that broken things can still bloom. If you'll let me, I'd like to spend the rest of my life helping you grow everything, including us." Maria covered her mouth, her hands shaking. She laughed through tears. "Thomas, I thought love had retired from my life," he smiled. "Then let's reopen it. Grand reopening tomorrow." She threw her arms around him, the bell above the door chiming softly as if celebrating with them. 5 years passed. Bloom and Grace became a small legend on Willow Street. Children came every weekend to learn about plants and kindness. Couples took photos under the flower arch Thomas built, and every corner of the shop smelled like spring, even in winter. Above the counter hung a framed photo of Maria and Thomas smiling under a sea of sunflowers. Below it, a plaque read, "For all who thought it was too late, it never is." When Maria passed away peacefully one summer evening, Thomas found a note she had hidden inside the cash register. "To my sunflower, you taught me that love doesn't end. It simply finds new soil. Keep growing, always." He placed the note beside the sunflower she had saved, now dried and pressed in a glass frame. Every morning after that, he watered it anyway. And somehow, every year on her birthday, a new sunflower bloomed in that same pot, reaching for the same light she had once believed in.